Welcome to the JFK podcast. Coffee break with JFK. Hey, today's sponsor is brought to you by Otter Pops. Do you remember those Otter Pops? Let's see. Let's go over the flavors. There was green. There was kind of an amber. There was red, and there was blue. What flavor do you want, Joel? I want the blue one. Joel, blue is not a flavor. I want the blue one. Do you remember that? Those were so refreshing on like on a summer day. And do you remember if you could get like two of those things, it was the gift that just kept on giving. You never wanted the Otter Pop to stop. I know they still sell them, but they, but you remember the plastic would just slice the corners of your mouth. Oh man, those were so good. Oh, what it was like to grow up in the early 70s as a kid in Salem, Oregon. I'd imagine it'd probably be very similar to, what most kids grew up in the early 70s. Except for when, you're, unless you live in Nigeria. Speaking of Nigeria, we're going to talk about all sorts of stuff like that today. Here we go. We're going to go down the rabbit hole. It's been a minute. I haven't done a podcast in a while. And I've just had some other stuff I'm dealing with. Got to get taken care of, build a guitar, working on another one, and just had some work, things like that. But I'm back in the saddle. And, we wrapped up those last couple podcasts with some incredible interviews with Kelly Lemieux from Buck Cherry and Dirk Sullivan from Old Mill, Love on Ice. But I'm back, man. Let's go solo here. Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's talk about this. You ready? You guys ready? Internet and dating scams. Mm-hmm. We all know. We've all gotten that email from the Nigerian prince that wants to put, $12 million in our bank account. We just have to give our bank account information and our social security number. And all right. So there's so many of those scams, right? And they get our elderly all the time. It's so sad and tragic. It makes me so angry. I literally would love, just give me 15 minutes and a baseball bat with one of those people in a room. I'm telling you right now. I know desperate people do desperate things, but the fact of the matter is, people like Gandhi and Mother Teresa, they lived great long lives in total poverty but you know what? At the end of the day, they always did the right thing. I don't get thieves. It's horrible. It's the worst. So here we go. Let's talk about this. So we've all gotten the Nigerian prince email, right? And then if you're, it's one thing when you see like your grandparents get scammed. It's like you go over there to visit and they're like, oh, I got this phone call from PGE demanding payment, and I know I'm current, and what did you do, Grandma? Well, I gave him my credit card. Oh, it's over. No, don't ever do that. Oh, it's the worst. It really is the worst. You just, you understand though, right? Because they're old and they don't like those assholes that call and they're like, you're behind, taxes with the IRS. You have to give us money right now. The IRS, as big of jerks as they are, they don't roll like that. And the sad thing is they immediately, it's all shock and awe, right? So they scare the crap out of our elderly. And of course they're like, oh, they want to do the right thing. Okay. So that's understandable. It's disgusting, but it's understandable. What is not understandable is when people that are not elderly fall into these scams. And what happens is lots of times it comes out of loneliness. Oh yeah, because it's not somebody calling you. Because look, most of us, I'm 54 years old. Most of us up to 70, right? When people call us up screaming and yelling, you have to, we're like, you know what? Go pound sand, buddy. Let me talk to your supervisor. I'll call your office tomorrow. I've been having this guy call me. I use a hosting company to host my various websites that I have, and this guy says he's with the fraud department with this particular company, and there's malware. There's malware on my website, and he needs to go in there and fix that. But it's a fee because they have a software and it's a service. And I'm like, and Arnold's here, and Arnold intercepted the call, man, and was just letting this guy have it. This guy sounded so freaking professional. He sounded like he knew exactly what he was doing. And he was like super calm. It wasn't like some, guy in I'll never forget this in economics class where they talked about boiler room operations. It did not sound like, there's a bunch of people in the prison, in the call center around. It was just this, and the guy was totally calm and cool. And he's called me twice now. And I've gotten like 5 calls from my hosting company. I'm doing the quote air quotations, telling me I have malware. Well, the thing is something about malware. If you have a website, I don't do any e-commerce. It's literally a page, a link to my Facebook page, and and my email address. That's it. There's nothing to hack. There's nothing to get in there and infect any malware anywhere. And the guy's trying to tell me anyway. Arnold just straightened this guy right out. And I called my my web developer too, and he confirmed the same thing. It's just all a scam. So this doesn't just happen with that too. It also happens on dating websites. I'm one of my guilty pleasures is to watch the shit show that is a 90 Day Fiance. Oh, this sweet lady. She's got to be in her early 60s, late 50s. She's a mother of 2 beautiful, beautiful kids that are adults now. She's a widow, and she lost a bunch of weight. And she meets this guy online, and he's this super handsome guy, but he's overseas. And she's been sending him tens of thousands of dollars. And they're going to meet. She's going to pay for his flight. And then it's one thing after another. And I got to get my mother got thrown in jail of these suspicious blah, 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 blah. And these people demanding. And then there's people on the show. I mean, 90 Day Fiance, it's all overseas, right? So there's this lady, I can't remember her name, but she's just ginormous Southern blonde, chain smoking, overly tattooed. Oh, she's a mess. If you guys watch the show, you know who I'm talking about, but she's a barracuda, man, big girl. And she's in her late 50s, and she meets this guy in Nigeria, and she flies over there and they get married. And oh my gosh, it's really disgusting seeing them kiss. But look, if you're going to date, if you're lonely, don't date overseas. My goodness, why not make it easy? Okay, so there's these dating sites, right? There's Match, there's Tinder, there's the hookup sites, there's the ones like Christian Mingle and Plenty of Fish, and then of course there's the Facebook dating app, and then there's just people sending you, and this is the fun part, people sending you friend requests, and then I get them every single day. I get 2 or 3 a day. It's always, I'm going to give you guys a little heads up here, okay? Gonna give you a little heads up. If you get a Facebook friend request from a super smoking hot girl from that 21 to 25 age bracket, she's taken several selfies that are like booty shots. She's got the huge boobs. She's got the big fake butt, right? She's in these exotic locations. She only has 2 pictures. Both of them were taken in the last day. She says she lives in, Peoria, Illinois, or, Newark, New Jersey. And then it says she works for CVC and McDonald's, and she works at high school. What high school did she go to? She went to high school of high school. Scroll back through her pictures. Usually it's some you get about 3 or 4 back if there is more than that. And it's usually some freaking Nigerian dude just sitting there, half toothless, with just nothing but poverty around him. And it's always these stupid names like Mary John. It's always like some girl's name and then a guy's name for the last name. Or sometimes they're so stupid, it's like 2 men's names, Jimmy Jason. And it's a chick, right? Here's the other thing to look for. 2 pictures in the last day, and neither one of them are the same person. I'm telling you right now, do not accept that friend request. Look on their page before you do. I don't give a shit how lonely, desperate, needy, horny you are. And I'm speaking to the men right now. If all of her friends are, I'm talking about Americans here, and my friends overseas in England and Wales and Ireland, and Scotland, if you look at her friends list and it's all shirtless dudes or all Nigerians or all Arabs, people from the Middle East, do not accept that friend request. Don't hit delete. Go over that little teeny little icon on the far right. Click on it. It'll say block, 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 block. I get private messages every single day. Hi there. Accept this message, it says, or block. I'm like, delete. There's no freaking way. First of all, I'm sorry, I just don't have 25-year-olds ever sending me friend requests that look like they're a porn star. I just don't. And if you're, and look, I'm in a band. I think I'm marginally attractive. I dress well. I've got some style. Got a couple really cute dogs. All right, I cook. So I might be a little bit of a catch. But look, man, if you're 300 pounds and you don't know what to do with the hair because you're balding, you can't dress, dude, a 25-year-old girl who looks like a porn star is not going to be sending you a Facebook friend request. I'm sorry, she's not. Delete. So what happens? So they send, here's how this all goes down. They send you the friend request. You accept it. Then they start talking to you. And they're like, hey, hi, how are you? And of course, their English is completely broken, but they're supposed to be some white girl from Idaho. And their English is completely broken. They want to get you sucked in. They'll probably show you some more pictures. They're definitely going to send you provocative pictures. And lots of times you get those friend requests and you look on there and they're like, their subject or they're about, what they are. It's like, go to my videos and watch, watch me blow, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a total porn thing. Do not accept. Hit block, 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 block. What happens is they get you sucked in because you're lonely and you're horny. Oh, oh my gosh, I got a story for you. Let me finish this thought first, though. You're lonely, you're horny, they get you sucked in, they start sending you more provocative pictures, and the next thing you know, they're asking you for money. Oh, my love, we will be together forever. I remember years ago, I was on Yahoo Personals right after my first marriage, and this girl from Kazakhstan or something, Alana. It's always some blonde named Alana. So gorgeous. And I'm like, I'm going to have some fun with this, right? And we just went down the rabbit hole, and she would just send me these elaborate love affair letters, just professing her love for me and all this. And she finally, I was just waiting. She finally asked me for money. Hey, and I even said, hey, you know what? I've got some vacation time. I'm going to come see you. We're going to hang out. And she's like, oh, no. It's very dangerous here. Don't come here. Yeah, exactly. I knew it. And then she asked me for money. All right, so I got a story for you. So years ago, about 5 to be exact, a friend of mine, I get this friend request from a guy I'm already friends with. And I'm not going to say his name because this is really hella embarrassing. This is so bad. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. So I get this friend request from him, and I'm like, oh. And so I accept it, and I'm like, and I send him a messenger. I send him a message. I go, bro, is this you? I just got another friend request from you. We're already friends. And he doesn't respond, right? No. I know what it was. I get the message, and I said, bro, why are you sending me a friend request? You know, did you get locked out of your old one or whatever? And this guy, well, I'm sure it's a guy, jumps in there, and is basically blackmailing my friend. And he said, or she, you know, well, if you know your friend, you know that they are not a person of good, you know, and all this stuff, right? They're trying to blackmail them, and they ask me for money, right? Because they're kind of holding this guy for ransom. And so I go over to the page really quickly, and oh my gosh, my friend, let me just qualify this. This guy I know, we're not super good friends. This guy I know went down the rabbit hole of becoming friends with this internet girl, right? This Facebook girl. And they were sending nudies back and forth. And he's not an attractive guy at all. Next thing you know, he sends her a webcam pic of him laying naked in bed. Oh, at the worst possible angle. Total upshot, big, huge chin, just not big old belly. And of course he's touching himself. And I'm like, immediately I call. I'm like, bro, you got to pull. And I reported the website, because that is the profile picture that she put out on the new site, and then posted over and over and over all these nudes that he'd sent her that are so incredibly embarrassing and horrible. And so I immediately reported the website, and he's like freaking out. He's like, oh my gosh, man. Yeah, she sucked me in and baited me. And I'm like, well, the good news is, you know, you got a big dick. I mean, you know, so it's like, at least you're not, you know, there's that. All right. So the point is, don't accept these friend requests. And for God's sake, don't give them your information. Don't even entertain it, because they will suck you down the rabbit hole. And it's like, it's funny. I get these friend requests, and it's always a joke, right? So immediately, I don't know, I'm just morbidly curious. So I scroll down. I want to see the kind of knuckleheads, the kind of idiots that are, oh yeah, I'll be friends with this hot babe, you know, that doesn't exist. You know, it's just some Google image picture of some hot girl, you know, off somebody else's Facebook page. Oh my gosh, it's disgusting. And sure enough, it's always like, you know, a bunch of guys in their 60s. You could tell they're really lonely. You know, they're needy, they're horny, they're lonely. They just want to find love. I mean, I get all of that. But don't do it through Facebook if it's you. I mean, you don't. No hot newsflash, man. No hot girl is going to just, you know, they want your money. And this is the most terrifying thing is you see this, right? Where you get these guys that their value comes out of having somebody to spend money on. And so, well, you know what? I don't have to meet her. It's okay. She just makes me feel like a young guy again, and I'm going to give her my money. And you know, so the kids of this guy, right, are watching, and this happens with women too. I have a very, very dear friend who I don't know if it was a dating site or it was Facebook, but she fell in love with this dude overseas. It was always something. He had to, you know, didn't have a place to live, or he got kicked out, or he needed airfare. And she was just hemorrhaging thousands and thousands of dollars constantly. And what happens is the kids are like, Mom, Dad, where did my inheritance go? And, you know, it's so sad. I mean, the majority of the time, that money is going to the Taliban, to ISIS, to the Russian mob, to the Mexican cartel. It's going to kill people. That money that you're giving them is going for organized crime. Because these are massive, massive organizations. This isn't just one lone hacker. These are people that have a huge network, and they're all putting into that network. They're all gaining financially from it, but don't be surprised. I mean, I would think that some of these hackers are actually they're being extorted as well. They're basically like mules, And so anyway, there's no amount of neediness, loneliness, horniness that should justify you emptying all of your wealth, giving away all of your resources that could have helped put your children's kids through college, helped your children buy a house, help your children have an inheritance to give to their kids, and give them there's not one person that's worth that is overseas, living in the Middle East or Africa or Europe. Or, and this is one I get. I get the Filipinos constantly. And she's sending 1 million of these out. She's hoping, that's the other thing about 90 Day Fiance. There was this guy, Big Ed, and he met this girl in the Philippines. And of course, they're professing their love for each other and everything. And she was just as shady as it could be, man. And she lived in a ramshackle, rat-infested shack with her family. Cold showers every day. It was just their shower was a garden hose. I mean, it's terrible that they lived in poverty, but she was just a user, man. And they're just all trying to get to a better life, understandably. But man, there's plenty of people here. I mean, if a hot babe in a third world country says she wants to be your girlfriend, there's a pretty good chance the minute she gets set up, she's out of there. Now, I get it. It's kind of like you're lonely. It's better than paying for an escort, but essentially you are paying for an escort because you're paying them. They're gaining something from you. It's not that organic thing that happens when you meet at a dinner party and you get that text, hey, I hope you don't mind. This is so-and-so. I met you at the dinner party tonight. I mean, not that has ever happened to me or anything like that, but, I just thought you were funny, and I was just wondering if you want to do coffee sometime. That's organic. That's quasi-healthy. Then, and she's from, we'll say she's from West Salem, okay? We'll say she's from West Salem. If you guys go meet for coffee, you have a decent time, then she goes psychopath because she's too needy or desperate or jealous or whatever. And then you go, okay, we're going to end this right now. Thank you so much. And you leave. It's not like you have to fly back from the Ukraine, okay? And just spent tens of thousands of dollars getting there. Drives me crazy. Okay, so let's go back. There's 1 million predators out there. They're going to take advantage of you. They want to take your money. I mean, let's just be honest. Now, don't get me wrong. Now listen, I can speak for experience here. I've made some friends through Facebook. I've got some friends worldwide. I've got some really great mates over in UK and in Wales and in Scotland. Fantastic people. I've met some, through those groups though, I've met some women that, nothing romantic, just we become very, very good friends and we all check in on each other. It's really nice. Back when I was on Match.com, oh God, I can't believe I just did an advertisement for them. Back when I was on a dating site, oh gosh, right out of my marriage. To be honest with you, I wasn't looking for a girlfriend, wasn't looking to just hook up, but I just needed to feel normal again. I needed to just get a few dates under my belt, go in with your girl on your arm, have some nice dinner, laugh and joke, go your separate ways. And I was very clear going up. Well, there's algorithms and all of that. So you get like people you may know or people you may want to know or so-and-so liked you. And she's like in Texas, right? Well, I met this beautiful, beautiful girl down in Texas. And and I actually flew down there and I went and saw my ex-in-laws and had a great time. And I met her and we had dinner and we had a great time. And we have maintained a amazing friendship ever since. And, but I didn't meet her physically and she never asked me for money and it wasn't anything like that. So it was like very casual. It was very friends. And I'm not saying that stuff can't happen. As a matter of fact, I still have from a couple dating sites from 20 years ago. Do the math, carry the 2. Oh gosh, it's been a while. Yeah, so 14, 15 years ago. I still have lifelong friends that I dated and for whatever reason it didn't work out, but we stayed friends. Totally get that. And a couple of them were like, one was from LA, and I've met other people on Facebook from like the Midwest. Beautiful friendships, and we still speak and talk. I get that. That stuff can happen. But it's that whole shady thing. You gotta be a bit of a detective, and you have to turn over a few rocks and pay attention to the signs. And when they ask you for money, when they start asking you for money, it's all over. Number one, you don't want to be with somebody that isn't self-sufficient. If you're over the age of 40, you do not, red flag, do not date anybody that can't get their finances in order, that isn't self-sufficient. You will relationships are difficult. The best relationships have their moments, are trying, for whatever reason, right? You're tired, you kind of snap at each other, or they do something that frustrates you, or you frustrate them, or you're a little bored, or you're no longer being romantic. I mean, there's just a million things that just naturally happen to extremely healthy relationships. Ones where they're made for each other. You want to make it impossible and difficult as you can, date people that don't have their shit together. Burn through all those red lights. Go ahead, just burn through those red lights. It will bite you. They're going to leave eventually, and it's either going to be a volatile, ugly explosion, or it's going to leave you in the wake of heartache, or massive frustration, or it's going to bankrupt you, or all of the above. Why make it so hard? I'm telling you right now, meet people organically. You want to do the dating app and all that. I get it. Because it's hard to meet some good people, and people meet people on those dating apps. They do. And I have, and I've met some incredible people on those dating apps. I've met some incredible people through Facebook, but pay attention to the red flags, man. If you can't, that's going to be my podcast, and that'll be my next podcast. I'm going to do that on red flags, because our pickers are broken. I'm going to revisit that one. I did a Facebook Live on your picker being broken, I don't know, a year or two ago. And, man, it's just so true. But, your life is difficult enough as it is. Dating is difficult enough. Being lonely is difficult enough. That's the other thing too. You can get in a relationship and be so lonely. I've been there. Not with my second marriage, but I've dated people where you just felt incredibly alone. And and my first marriage was not the best, and I felt incredibly alone in my first marriage. I get that. Why not pick the perfect person for you? You're not going to find them in Nigeria. I promise you. You're not going to find them in South Africa. You're not going to find them in Haiti or the Philippines or the Middle East or Europe. It's just, I'm sorry, Iceland. We might as well just throw all the countries in there. Okay, Vietnam, let's say India. You ever notice you never get friend requests from girls from India? You ever notice that? Or guys? I'm telling you right now, watch your friend requests. Really watch your friend requests. If it's not somebody that you truly like, oh, okay, that's a friend of a friend. I have a lot of girlfriends that they get friend requests from men all the time, right? And they navigate through those because they're, look, you got to be careful. People disappear. People get raped and murdered all the time, and the world's not a forgiving place. And so what they do is they go, okay, if I'm going to look at this and I'm going to go, is he friends with people I know? Is she friends with people I know? Are they local? Are they in Oregon? Or is it just some phony BS, friend request from somebody in some foreign country? All that stuff is so incredibly important. For God's sake, do not give them money. I don't get that. I just don't get that. I'm gonna throw something out there. If anybody ever asks you for money that you just started dating or you've been dating and you've never seen each other face to face, or maybe you have. Oh my gosh, 90 Day Fiance. There's this one lady, she's my age. She's 54. She's dating this guy who's like 26 down in the Bahamas. And she is listening to her talk to him is the most disgusting thing. She sounds like, I bought you these pair of underwear and I know you like the purple ones. And oh my gosh, it's like it's his mom, and it's so freaking creepy. It's a train wreck I can't turn away from. But she just freely gives all this money, and her friends are like, you're an idiot. And this guy, he's so over her. He's not into her. He's been cheating on her like crazy. She wants to get married. Anyway, she doesn't have any kids. So basically he's her child. Where I'm at with all of that is, if somebody asks you for money and you're dating them and you've never seen them, they're overseas, it's kind of there's always these roadblocks, or maybe you've seen them on like vacation, but they're not in your town. Before you give money, ask your friend or family member, hey, so-and-so wants me to send them money. Should I? And whatever they say, please do. Because lots of times the friends are like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then you're like, no, it makes me feel good, so I'm going to send them all my money. I just don't get any of it. There's something excruciatingly unhealthy about that whole sort of mentality. And it's so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. So, that's pretty much all I got. And I hope that all of this made sense. I hope that, you guys can all take something from it. It's a disgusting business. And there's some really sick, terrible, awful people out there, and we are rewarding them by giving them exactly what they want. And it's so awful. There's no point in it. So listen, if somebody sends you a friend request and you're curious, you want to run it by me, send me a private message. I will say yay or nay. I'll give you the Julius Caesar thumbs up or thumbs down. I'll give that to you. Anyway, listen, this has been Joel Kinney. This is podcast Coffee Break with JFK. And it's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time. I'm not exactly sure what the next one is going to be, but I think it might be on red flags. Anyway, love yourself and respect yourself. It's equally important. Love y'all.